Hi, Marilyn here with Cotton and Chocolate. I'm doing Halloween figs, and now we're into month 4 already. And this is block 8 called the Nutmeg Star block, and it's on page 11 of the pattern. And it's this block down here in the corner, so it's a good sized block in the quilt. And I'm going to go through the cutting and the piecing all at once. And so you're going to be using new fabrics, cream with orange circles, black floral repeating, and ivory solid that you repeat from previous. So, and this is an 11 by 12 inch finished block. And you're just making one of them. So from the orange ditzy, which is this little orange right here, from the 4-inch strip, you're going to cut a 4-inch strip in a 2.5 inch strip. You'll cut 2 3 3/4 inch, and you're going to cut twice on the diagonal to get little triangles. And that's number A. And from the 2.5 inch strip, you're going to cut 8 2 1/4 inch squares. And you'll see those here in the quilt. From the black floral, you're going to cut 1 big 6.5 inch square. Leave it as is. From the cream with orange circles, this little cream, this is a lot in the quilt. From the 3 1/4 inch strip, you're going to cut 2 3 1/4 inch squares and cut twice in the diagonal to get your little triangles for D, and 4 3-inch squares for E. From the 2.5 inch strip, you're going to cut 8 2 1/4 by 3-inch rectangles for F, those are here, and 4 2 1/4 inch squares for G. For the cream with gray circles, this is this little one right here. You need 2 1 by 11.5 inch strip. That will be for the very end. And from the ivory solid, you need 4 3.5 inch squares for I. We're going to use those at the end also. So let's get to piecing. So I pieced some to the center of this for the demo, but I'll show you just one corner of this of how you go about adding those G squares, which is that cream with orange circles. These are the squares that are the 4 2 1/4 inch squares. So you're going to take and put right sides together, and these are the sew and flip squares that will go out like this. So as I spoke earlier, in another month, you could add a line corner to corner and sew that on and flip it, but I do use my folded corner clipper. So once again, I'll show you this. I measure this up. Here's my 2 1/4 inch here, all the way around. I'm going to take my cutter and cut that off, and then I'm going to sew. You can see it makes a 1/4 inch indent here, and I'll sew along there and then just flip that out. Okay, and I've already done that on 3 sides. So do that all the way around. Makes this, love that, that makes that really easy. Okay, so moving on, and that you can see in the diagram there. So from your triangles D and A, you need to sew them all together in this fashion. There's no mirror image, so just get these all sewn together, okay? And you will sew all of them together. You're going to make 4 of these units, so there's 8 of these. So sew these together, and then I press towards the orange. And so with right sides together, you'll then sew this unit together like this, okay? And you're going to get 4 of these hourglass units. And you do need to trim those to, I think it's 3 inches, yes. Trim these to 3 inches, and I think they were actually dead on 3 inches, so I didn't need to trim those down. I just like to trim off those little corners on the end. So you're going to get 4 of these hourglass units, and now we're going to make our sew and flip units that you're going to take your 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 by 3-inch rectangles. Now you need 4 of these, but be careful. 4 of one unit and 4 of the other. 4 are going to go this direction, and 4 are going to go this direction, the opposite way. So don't screw them up and make them, the same way. That's easy to do. And I do use my folded corner clipper. So this one, if you're never sure which way to do it, look at the picture, fold it so that it looks just like the photograph. I have a little there, and you can even do a little cheater line before you use the ruler. So I have a little cheater line so I know which way to do it. Then I can put my folded clipper down and cut it. Because see, I can see the line. So I know that I'm doing it in the correct direction. Then I would have all 4 and trim them the same way. Okay? Now here it's a little different because this one has to go this way, the opposite way. So I'll just draw a line for you so that you can see a little cheater line. You can see which way it is. So this means that in order for me to get that angle, I need to put the ruler this angle in order to get the cut in the correct direction. And then I'll cut all 4 that way. So I have one going this way through all 4 and one going this way through my machine. So once I get those all sewn, then I'll press them and I have them going in the correct direction. Okay, so I've already made my other units. You need 4 of each. So I have these cut, and I'm going to sew these together. You're going to take your hourglass, you're going to put the opposite sides together like this. And if you look at the photograph, it shows that. You have your hourglass and then the opposite sides going together here and then in the quilt. So I have that, you know, semi laid out since I have one more pair to make around the quilt. And then you have your cornerstones going out here. Okay. And then I would finish it with my last piece here. So we have, assuming that I have that made and these corners pieced in here, I have actually one more element to make in this. And you can see this if you look closely on the block. It's a little bit hard to see, but rather than have this orange with circles fabric on the very outside, there's actually an ivory triangle. I know it's really difficult to see. So what they did is they got this all pieced together, and then they took one of these ivory triangles after you have it pieced. That's what I want to leave up the point, okay? And they took this and they made a sew and flip corner of it. So it's going in all of your corners like this. And the reason it's after the point is that they're oversized, so that it's going to flow into your outside other blocks over here and over here, because these points don't go all the way to the edge. And how am I going to do that? Well, I used my folded corner clipper. So again, you can do it traditionally, or you can do it like this. So how did that work? I put this on at 3.5 inches. After it was all sewn, yes, you're going to cut through those seam lines, but it doesn't matter. You'll cut that off and then sew it and then flip it. And that's going to be after you have the whole block pieced. But wait, there's even one more step. I know it doesn't end. You'll notice that there's 2 more strips. It's H, and that's these little ivory are these little strips, these 1-inch strips, and they go on either side. And you'll find when you're piecing the final block, they're kind of spacer pieces. They'll finish at 1/2 inch, but you need them to make these blocks fit into the quilt. And why are they a different color? Because they kind of match the background here, and so they'll fit into your block. And so kind of make sure that when you're doing it, you might want to make sure that that pretty little floral is sitting upright when you put those on, just like they have it here. Okay, so that's that block, and then you'll join me back for just talking about block 9, the simple star blocks in those colors. Okay, we'll see you then.